Morning everyone, my name is Audrey. I'm Stitchywitch42 here on flosstube and over on Instagram. It is Tuesday, the 14th of March. It is cold and it is wet. And I think I'm just about tired of winter. It's been a long, cold, strange winter here in the Pacific Northwest. We've had March in March. We've had snow in March, which is very unusual here in the Willamette Valley. Yesterday was one of those days where it was raining, but it was big, fat, cold raindrops. I know because I went to my doctor's appointment, and as I was getting out of the car, one of those big, fat raindrops hit me on top of the head. You know the feeling where all of a sudden you've got water running down over your head. The broken yoke feeling, yeah. Maybe somebody was turning me invisible, I don't know. No, the doctor still saw me, yeah. Everything's fine on that part. He is thinking that he will maybe at some point in the future remove my appendix. That's real definitive, right? There you go. Yeah. So anyway, I tried several times to record a video yesterday, and it seemed that no matter how I went about it, I just could not. I could not. Does anybody else experience that? Where you have to record your videos over and over and over again just to get something that seems somewhat coherent? That was me yesterday. So I do have 3 new starts. I thought it was 3 finishes, but I realized I missed the pads on my frog. So I have 3 stitches to put in to make it 3 finishes. I had talked about these on my last video. I had started a new Lola Crow pattern. These had been suggested to me from a viewer named Dovey that I check them out. They're called Weird Things in Mason Jars. The fabric that I used for it, when I posted it on Instagram, people were asking what the fabric was. This is okeefenokee. I got this at Acorns and Threads, a couple of months ago, when I was talking about possibly restarting my Nightmare Before Coffee because I didn't like the orange Ada that I had stitched it on. This is what I had bought up there as a possibility to put it on. But as you can see, this is blues and greens. I want more blues and purples for Nightmare Before Coffee. And we'll talk fabric in just a little bit. But when I looked at the pattern, the Lola Crow's Weird Things in Mason Jars, I thought this would be perfect for it. So there are 3 patterns. I got the PDF. I opened it up on my laptop, which right there is an issue for me. Usually if I order a PDF, I will open up my emails on Mark's computer because I can then print paper copies from his computer to his printer. I opened up the PDF on my laptop because I'm a natural blonde. The issue for me, I don't like using my laptop to stitch from because the monitor keeps going to sleep. Mark set it to its longest setting and it still would go to sleep. It's either sit and stitch in the kitchen where I have my laptop plugged in, or bring it out here and rearrange everything, because right next to me is a TV tray that sits next to my chair, and that's where I put all my stitching stuff. For me, personally, stitching from my laptop is a pain in the... Yes, it is. But I did this because these are 3 very small patterns. They are 23 by 37. Not big at all. So, the first one I did is this one right here. This is the eyeballs. And it's the outline of the jar. It says Mason across here, and then there's 3 eyeballs down there and 1 up here. Backstitching is involved in this. If you look up at the top, you can see a line of black going across the lid. When I did that at first, I just did 1 solid, well, I did 2 over. I did 1 length of floss all the way across, but I didn't like it because it was too loose, so I went back and I couched it in 3 or 4 different places, and I think it looks much nicer, and that's what I continue to do on the other 2. But when I did this one, I started up here at the top and I worked around and came down, worked around the Mason, came up and did the lid, and then I finished in the outline down here, and then I could just fill in the green. That worked well on the second one too. This weird thing in a mason jar is tentacles. So this one was also fun to do, and I love the fact that the liquid in each jar is a different color. Again, I started here, I went down, made the word Masons, came up, did the lid, and then I worked down around the bottom and filled in the tentacles. Well, the third time I decided that I was going to try and confuse myself, because I thought, what would happen if I did all the liquid first and then went back in and filled in the Mason and the frogs? If you ever want to play mind games with yourself, try to do that. It's just a little pattern. But I sat there and I looked at it, and am I doing this right? And is it... If it worked the first 2 times, stitch the third one the same way. This is Weird Things in Jars. This is my frogs. This is the one that is missing 3 stitches. Right here at the top of the little frog, I missed his little pads. She showed them on her site. There's all 3 of them. She showed them on her site being finished in the ring from a mason jar, and that is exactly what I am going to do. I had planned on having them done ahead of time. I'm glad that I didn't, because then I would have missed those 3 pads, and I would have been very upset with myself for missing 3 frog pads. But that would have been weird. And it's a thing in a mason jar, so maybe, I don't know. Okay. 3 new starts. 3 almost finishes. I'm still drinking my coffee. Mark went to work this morning, so I get the house to myself until I have to go to work. Talking about work. Last weekend was market days up at Acorns and Threads. I didn't go because of work. I'm counting down my time until I can retire. I have a retirement date. I mean, it's just about engraved in stone as far as I'm concerned. And I've been counting down, for a couple of years now. It started out because I was bored at work one day and I wanted to figure out how long it was going to be until I could retire. I'm going to retire when I'm 65, when I can get Medicare. I'm tired of the knee and the feet issues at work. I'm just tired. So I picked a date and I figured it out, and at the time it was 42 months. Not too long after I did that, my manager happened to come over to tell me something. And when he walked in the office, I said, "Oh, by the way, I'm giving you my 42-month notice." And he got this look on his face and he said, "What?" And I said, "I'll be retiring in 42 months. I just want you to know that." Well, then, of course, I had to tell other people that my manager thinks I'm nuts, which is not an unusual thing for me because a lot of people I work with think I'm nuts. That's a different story. Different day, different time. But some of the people that I had worked with for several years would randomly come up and ask me, "How long do you have now? How long do you have now?" So I actually started counting down from 42 months on. I think I was right around 30 months or so. No. Maybe. 12 plus 1. I've got 13 months to go. Plus 12 is 24. I had 26 months to go. 26 months to go when I transferred to this new store. So my counterpart at the store has been aware since I've gotten there that I am counting down until retirement. And another coworker at this store keeps asking me every couple of weeks, "Well, how long is it now?" According to my counterpart, because I was off work for a month with my appendix, I should stay and work a month longer, and I keep telling her, no, that's not happening. The other one who keeps asking me, she keeps trying to extend it too. So the other day when she asked, I grabbed my phone, I brought up Google, and I said, "How long is it until April 27th, 2024? Now you know when I'm retiring." And it came up with 417 days, or 1 year, 1 month, and 21 days. I don't know why. 417 days. That just was like days. Wow, days. So I turned around to tell my counterpart. She was in our office. It has a window door that you can't really see through, and she was in there with our lottery representative. And I went to hold my phone up so she could see it. She goes, "I heard you." Yeah, I'm that person. I'm that person. But anyway, my schedule at work is pretty much the same. I work Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Anna, Cheryl, you need to be listening to this. Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And Fridays and Saturdays from 5 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Market days at Acorns and Threads was last Friday and Saturday. And when I get up early on those mornings, the idea of getting off work at 10:30 in the morning, driving for 45 minutes to an hour depending on traffic to go up there, I just couldn't do it. I'm old. No, I wanted a nap is what happened. I like naps. Naps are good. So I did not go up there. I think that there may be some patterns in my bag up at Acorns and Threads because I may have been influenced by Anna and Cheryl. But for the life of me, I can't remember what those patterns are. So I don't even know if there's something I really want or not. I need to get up there so I can find out. Anyway, let's go back to cross stitch. I know that I was telling you that I was working on my Halloween Village afghan. And I've got it upside down. I am working on the pendants that spell out Halloween. Oops, and I have a needle. Alright. I only had about a dozen stitches left to go in the bottom of the pendant. In the bottom, in the orange part of this pendant here. I'd already stitched the white, which is glow in the dark down here. So I finally finished those 12 stitches in there, and then I came back and I did the black outline on these two pendants. I am now trying to go across, because I was having counting issues with this, I was trying to go across so that I can match up that black line to where the other pendants are at. When I get, there's 3 more pendants there, when I get those done, I will have 10 pages out of 30 finished. The only other thing that I've been stitching on is my Alphonse Mucha, and I'm gonna pause here for a moment so I can turn my camera around because I have it sitting over here on my sideboard. So hold on. So this is my Alphonse Mucha. I have been working in this area here. You can see right here is the bottom of a page and the edge of this page. This one goes to about this line right here, and again to about there. So I'm over halfway on that page, but as I'm working on colors here, because I'm stitching out this way, I'm carrying them into the next section, and I will do the same thing when I get down towards the bottom, carry it down into the page down there. So this is page 20, this is page 19. There's 24 pages to this pattern, and I am just loving the way she looks. It's all DMC, and as I do the stitches and I'm working up close and I see the color changes and the colors that don't look like they belong next to the previous one, I am just amazed at how, after I stitch this and I look at it, how really gorgeous it is. It's funny how when I start working on my Alphonse Mucha, I can just get so involved in watching the color changes, watching it reveal itself. It is just, to me, an absolutely fascinating process. I know there's a lot of people out there that do Hades, but doing all that dark background, that's something that I just can't get into. Yes, there is a lot of background on this, but there's color changes and there's variations, and just seeing it evolve, it's just fascinating as far as I'm concerned. I know I've told you before, she is my 4th Alphonse Mucha that I've stitched. The first one was one that I stitched for my daughter Erin, and when I did that one I was stitching monogamously, and it took me 13 months to finish. Then I decided that I needed to have one for myself, and that second one only took me 11 months. Then I did my third one after I started making videos, and that one took me just under 2 years. This one I have now been stitching on for 2.5 years. I think it's your fault, because I try to stitch things so I have content for my videos, but even that's not right, because when I started making my videos, it was to record my process and to share my love of this craft, and it wasn't so much wondering or worrying about whether or not I would have something to share with you. Sometimes it switches, sometimes it feels that way. Sometimes it feels like it's really difficult to come up with something to talk about in a video. I don't know. Sometimes it feels like burnout. I don't know. Anyway, I have some happy mail I want to share with you. Helen D., who is the one who originally inspired me to do the Lola Crow patterns, the Christmas ones. And because of her, I was introduced, well, it was because of Dovey, who commented on the 5 finishes that Helen did for me on the other Lola Crow patterns. I also decided to get Strawberry Fair. I got it from Cobweb Corner. I got the 3 classic colorwork colors that Helen used, but I haven't started it. I just haven't started it. I will eventually. It's here. I know I have fabric upstairs. Someday. And I got a package from Cheryl, 1/2 of Stitching with the Sisterlies. The last couple of months, Cheryl, Anna, Janine, and I have been meeting up at Cheryl's place. It's a random thing when it happens, but of all the mother cluckers, remember them? We're the ones that live closest to each other in Oregon. The others all live up in Washington somewhere. So, you know, it's not always possible to get everybody together, but the 4 of us, because we live close, we've managed to get together a couple of times. Now, I haven't been able to get up there for 2 months now, I think. I think right before Christmas was the last time I was up there. So anyway, in February, we were going to, but I had a doctor's appointment the day that we were going to meet up. And I know that Anna shared hers on her video at the time. Cheryl made these cute little quilted heart mug rugs. You have to stop and think about how you're saying these things. Look at this. This is gorgeous. I love this. All the Halloween fabric for me. I love this fabric on the back. Absolutely gorgeous. So, when they met up in February, I got a message from Anna. She wanted my address because Cheryl wanted to send this to me. And I wrote back to her, the Wicked Witch of the Desk, and my address. And sure enough, when the envelope showed up, that's exactly what it says. So, somehow or another, I will be keeping this envelope and working it into one of my junk journals. Speaking of, I have found this fabulous new lady to me. Well, actually there's 3 of them, but there's one in particular. I came across a woman named Barbara. Her journaling videos are called 49 Dragonflies. And she lives in Austria, but she does both English and German videos. And then she talked about a friend of hers who also lives in Austria named Louisa Heinzel. Her channel is Junk Journal Art. Fabulous. I am in love with her. Louisa was talking about another one who does videos only in German, and I actually watched one of them the other day and was surprised. My mom was German. My aunts, my cousins were German. My German, nicht so good. Not so good. But I watched this video all in German, and was actually surprised that every once in a while she would say something and I knew what she was talking about. But the one that I was mainly talking about, Louisa Heinzel, if you're at all interested in junk journals, go check her out. I'm going to link all 3 of them down below. She is teaching me some new things that I want to play with so bad. So that's something that I will be doing in the near future. It's almost to the point where I think I want to play with that more than I want to cross stitch. But yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. My last piece of happy mail is gorgeous. Do you remember when I told you about losing my wallet and having to replace my ID and my debit card? Many months ago, up at Anna's house, all the Mother Cluckers were there. And Heather, who is Punky Pearls on Instagram, she makes beautiful, beautiful bags. I know that Becca has one. I know that Anna has one. Anna has several cross-stitching notebooks that Heather has made. I think Cheryl has one of her bags. They're gorgeous. They're absolutely gorgeous. She had made these wallets and gifted each of us with one. If you remember, mine was the one with the spider on it. I don't like spiders. Yesterday morning I got up and I was making my coffee, and I pulled the little hopper out, dumped the grounds out of it, put that back in, reached over to grab a cup, and when I turned back around, I've got a spider hanging from my coffee maker. It's like, no, I haven't, I'm shivering. I've got the tinglies up and down my neck because of this. There was a spider hanging on my coffee maker and I hadn't had coffee yet. So I had to stop and kill the spider. Yes, I do kill them. I'm afraid of them. I am seriously afraid of them. And the wallet she gave me had a spider on it. I had been out running some errands that morning. I kept it in my back pocket, and I know when I was walking out of the store that I must have missed putting it in my pocket and dropped it on the ground. Didn't realize it until I got to my daughter's house and it wasn't there. And then I searched all around my daughter's house. I searched all over my car. I went back to the store. I parked where I had been before. I looked all around. I went inside and I said, did anybody turn in a wallet? And they said no. And I knew I was not going to see that wallet again. Because even though it had the creepy crawly on it, it was a really, really cool wallet. Heather does beautiful work. So I came home and I contacted her and I told her what happened and I said, would you make me another one? And we discussed it and came up with a fabric that I really, really like this one. So I received this just a couple of days ago. This is my new wallet and it has Wednesday Addams on it. This is beautiful. And I don't want to use it. Don't get me wrong. I like this because it fits perfectly in my pocket and I could take it to work and it would have my driver's license and my ID in it, and that's all I ever used it for. But I don't want to lose it because I lost the other one. Today is going to be my break-in day. I'm gonna take it with me to work because I have to show everybody this. This is gorgeous. When she showed me this fabric, I knew I had to have it because right below her is Thing. And I didn't think about it because on the last one that Heather made for me, it didn't have her tag here. But when she put her tag here, she's covered the thing up. And at first I was a little bit disappointed with that. I can see the top of his wrist here. Do you know that in the original series, that thing was played by the actor who was Lurch? And if you watch the original video, sometimes Thing is right-handed and sometimes Thing is left-handed. That's your trivia for today. Anyway, I'm telling myself this box here is Thing's box and he's inside right now. I think this is gorgeous. I think you should all go check out Heather Punky Pearls over on Instagram and take a look at the bags she makes and the little wallets. It's gorgeous. And if I lose this one, I'm gonna cry. Anyway, I think recording today went much better than my attempts at doing it yesterday. Most likely because Mark's not in the house. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and until we meet again, live long and stitch on, my friends. Bye-bye.